Maybe yours is a bag, a box, fanny pack, backpack, or something attached to your bike or something stuffed in your jersey pocket. But what condition is it in? Does it look good? Welcome my friends, I'm Brian and this is my YouTube channel, Be The Bike. If you've been here before, thanks for stopping back. If you've never been here before, thanks for stopping in, greatly appreciate it. If you're one of those folks that lives in northern New York or someplace worse, if that's even possible, and you're not one of those crazy hardcore people that rides outdoors all year round, spring is here, the weather's cleared up, the roads are getting better, where you're itching and ready to go. Let me ask you one question though before you do that. When's the last time you took a look at your saddlebag, backpack, fanny pack, or whatever you're carrying your gear in to fix an emergency situation such as a flat tire or mechanical issue, just to make sure everything is still in good working order? You didn't use a tube last year and forget to replace it. You didn't use a CO2 cylinder and then throw it back in your saddlebag completely empty, just taking up space and adding weight to your bike ride, and that you're still good to go. I'm going to go through all my gear, the stuff that I use on a regular basis, and show you what I look for and make sure I'm good to go as well. And I'm not going to get stuck on the side of the road or out in the middle of the woods. Oh, by the way, if you're one of those folks that has been in that position, like I certainly have in the past, let me know your story down below. I'd be curious to hear what it is, and hopefully we can all avoid making those same mistakes again. All right, the first thing I'm going to talk about is a saddle pack that I carry for my road riding. Just a specialized pack, carries enough of what I feel I need for an emergency type situation out on the road. Change a tire, do some light mechanical stuff. So the first things I have in here is a little bag, and in this little bag is a couple things. I've got some quick links for a chain if for some reason I have a chain issue, and then I have a SRAM Axis battery. If you're one of those folks that rides electric shifting, especially SRAM, I would always recommend carrying an extra battery. That way if you get stuck someplace out on a long ride, didn't change your batteries, which you should kind of try to check on a regular basis, you'll at least have something so you don't have to pedal that really hard gear to get home. And then after that, I have a couple pairs of rubber gloves, just latex or nitrate gloves for doing repairs. So that way, if you do work on your bike, you're not getting all greasy, but at least I have gloves to cover. Nothing worse than grabbing a hold of your handlebars and you've got like just a mob of grease on your hands. The next thing I have in my saddlebag is I've got two of the PVC tubes from Ride On. I've been using these for about 3 years now. These work out great as far as I'm concerned. Knock on wood, over the last 2 or 3 years, I've only had one flat tire. So is it the tubes or if I just got lucky? Hard to say. But the thing I would say with your tubes is pull them out and make sure that something else in your bag hasn't worn a hole in them. I would also say you should probably take the tubes out, inflate them, leave them overnight to make sure that they do hold air, and then package them back up and put them back in your saddlebag. But again, 2 tubes from Ride On, they work out well. Got a CO2 cylinder. I run some electrical tape around all my CO2 stuff. That way I've got a strip of electrical tape if I need to fix something on the bike, just a quick down and dirty. Sometimes that works. And then in the bag, I have a CO2 inflator. Very, very important to make sure that if you're using a threaded inflator, that you have threaded cylinders, because if you don't have threaded cylinders, they're not going to work. Ask me how I know, because I've been stuck by this one before. Non-threaded CO2 cylinder, threaded inflator, they don't work together. You don't inflate tires that way. So that's that. Got 2 tire levers to get the tire off so I can get to the tube if need be. And then I have a multi-tool that allows me to have a chain breaker and then a bunch of hex tools and so on. Phillips head, flathead screwdrivers and stuff to do some minor repairs. Hopefully that's all I would need to fix anything. Good thing to have. The other thing with any of your bags and packs that have zippers, if you're riding in nasty, gritty weather at some point, check these and clean these, because if you don't, it's going to corrode and you're not going to be able to get your bag open when you need to. What I do recommend is get some candle wax and then just run the candle wax over your zipper, and that way it'll help your zippers open and close a little bit smoother and easier, and you won't get stuck with a bag that you won't be able to get open. The other thing that I do recommend carrying in a pack is maybe a little bit of cash, $5 or so. That way if you get stuck someplace that doesn't accept credit cards, you have some cash with you. I know that's hard to believe, but there are places out there that are cash only. Tap to pay means nothing to some folks, especially on the back country where I occasionally do ride. So having cash on you is probably a good thing. And then carry some nutrition on you, maybe an extra gel stuff in your bag. So that's all my road stuff. After that, the next thing I would have for shorter mountain bike rides is just a fanny pack. This works out well for if you're bombing around the woods, you're not really going on a long ride. This works out well for me. And in this pack, I have the CO2 inflator and CO2 cylinders. These are a 3D printed item I make to protect my CO2 cylinders, but more importantly, with this CO2 protector, it doesn't allow the threads to rub up against a tube or something else and cause damage, so that works out well. Again, threaded all the way around so I don't get stuck. I really, really recommend if you've got multiple different items, different packs that you're using for different sporting type events, make sure you get the same type of inflator for all your packs. That way, you know how to use it. You know what you have as far as threaded or unthreaded. The other thing I have on there, again, electrical tape. And then I have a couple hair elastic ties. Don't tell my wife I've stolen those from her, but that keeps all my gear nice and together. Got that extra gel that I talked about just in case. And the next thing I have is a means to plug tire holes with tire plugs. And then I have a couple quick links in there just in case something should go sideways. And then I have also a little multi-tool that is also has a tire plug in there as well. So I could plug 3 or 4 different holes, or probably 5 different holes, and then a couple of Allen wrenches. It's very, very important, especially in today's day and age, if you're running disc tires and you have through axles, make sure you're carrying a hex wrench that can get your wheels off. If you're not carrying a hex wrench, a 5 or 6 millimeter, depending on what type of bike you're riding, you're not going to be able to get your tire off to change your tube if need be. So hex wrench is real important. The other thing is in the back of this is a tire levers with quick links in it. And that's it for shorter mountain bike rides. Again, candle wax, do your zippers. The final thing that I have is a Usui hydration pack that I use for longer races, rides, have hydration. And then I have the pack with some tools in it as well. So in here, I have just a regular hand inflator or mechanical inflator. So that's not a bad thing to have. I've got my CO2 cylinder and inflator, again, stolen hair ties and some electrical tape for a quick down dirty emergency repair. Got CO2 cylinders, they're all threaded across the board, and some more electrical tape just in case. And then in here, I also switch the plugs back and forth, but I also, for a longer ride like this, I would carry a tube just in case to throw in to be able to fix a tire. It's got some patches in it, but truthfully, I haven't used a patch on a tire in 25, 30 years. But again, it's nice to have that tube just in case you've got, a bunch of extra holes and you can't get sealant to seal and you are stuck. You'll notice when I opened that or had that, it was inside of an old sock. That helps protect the tube. And also in the past, what I've done is I have the tube, the inflator and everything, and I'll throw this in here and I'll throw this in a jersey pocket if I want to go lighter, a shorter race or something like that. So I have something with me just in case. Going back to it, the gels, not a bad idea to carry this in case you get in a situation where you gash a tire and you need to use a boot of some nature. Suck down the gel, throw that gel in there, cover up that, but that can potentially cover that slit in the tire so you can inflate it with a tube in it. So that's that as far as the hydration pack. Those are the things that I use on the rides that I do. If you have ideas of things that you think work out better or suggestions, go ahead and post those down below. I'd be curious to see what they are. I certainly can learn from other folks. Other than that, it's time for you to get out and ride your bike. See you.